I know, where's the makeup and the lighting? We're good? All right, good morning, everybody. The time is 9:03 a.m. It's Monday, July 26, 2021. I'm going to call the special called meeting of the Bee County Commissioners Court to order. We are located at the Bee County Courthouse, Commissioners Courtroom, number 110, 105 West Corpus Christi Street, Beeville, Texas, 78102. That was the call to order. If everybody would please join me in standing. Commissioner Fogarty is going to lead us in a short prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for all your blessings. We thank you for the abundance of rain. We ask you to watch over us continually during this pandemic and keep us all safe. We ask you to watch over the paperwork that is brought to the county that we're in charge of to make the best decisions possible. In your name we pray.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the Texas Pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you all. Please be seated. Good morning, everyone. We'll begin, as we always do, with Commissioners Court opening remarks. Once again, I can't recall who went first last time, but I'm sure they can. Who goes first?
Yeah.
All right, Commissioner Haggard, you have.
Well, there's not a whole lot to report. I have been meeting with Ray Gonzalez and his Road and Bridge bunch, going over the last flooding issues and looking at some right-of-ways that he's going to clear up and some drainage issues. Other than that, the second report would be the Hawk system that's being installed in Skidmore. I want to give out a shout to those on Facebook that have noticed it being done and made comments and everything. It's probably about 35–40% moving forward. They're blocking off sides of the roads as they're working on both sides. So other than that, it's just been normal phone calls, and that's pretty much it. Commissioner?
I had a busy last week with the Phil Harris, the Greco systems they put in there. One of the machines just didn't go off right away, not to start. So they realized it on Monday, and they got it all turned back on, and they got it up and running. And this time they installed some computer programming. If anything goes off or whatever, it alerts several people that it's working properly or not working properly, and they address it right away. But from what I understand, it's really cooling off in there, and I think tomorrow morning they're going to go and move 2 of the vent tubes to a different part of the jail so they can get it just right, because their hobo units are telling them to move. But their circulating air is cooling down in there. The humidity is getting a whole lot less. I believe they're going to remove the dehumidifiers. So that's on the jail part. The elections building is right on schedule according to their Gantt chart, and they leveled the building Friday. They cut out the floor. They got a plumber in there, so they're digging out the bottom. They've taken out a bunch of soft spots, readjusted some joists in there and stuff like that. So that building's coming along. If you walk in there, you can only peek in the door because they cut. There's just joists and a trail for the people to work with. So that's all they got right now. But that's what's going on with the elections building. But it's right on schedule as far as that goes. And I had several phone calls. One was why the Bee County doesn't maintain the cemeteries on Old Houston Highway. I said that's not ours. We maintain the roads. If they put brush out there, I talked to Ray. Ray said that they'll pick up the brush, but they don't maintain inside the cemetery. That's the only. I had several calls on that. So I'll pass the commission to it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Several things. Attended the Solid Waste Committee meeting with the Council of Governments in Corpus last week. A lot going on with them. They're pretty dynamic. The mineral yard, the movement of the solid waste collection facility from Norm Manor to Mineral will take place this coming weekend, I believe.
Yes, sir.
And if everything clicks, it will reopen in Mineral August 3rd on the regular schedule. And that's a Tuesday. And if the public needs additional information, 361-621-1555. Anything you need to know, it'll be the regular fees, the regular schedule, just like we had at Norm Manor, except it'll be in Mineral instead of Norm Manor. They'll have signs up at the Norm Manor station directing people to Mineral. Mr. Gonzalez and his crew have done a fantastic job getting the Mineral station ready. And the things I'd like to remind the court, we started this process last spring, and we're just now coming to fruition. Anytime you're dealing with government, it either moves really, really fast or really, really slow. And one of the impediments that we ran into is that about halfway through the process, we were told we didn't own the property and minerals. So we had to take care of that, get all those records taken care of. So it's all been done. I can't show my appreciation enough for what Mr. Gonzalez and his crew have done. They've taken a situation and made it very, very efficient, effective, and folks that haven't been by to look at the way it's set up, please go look. I've had some comments about this and that, and I said, look, it's right there on the highway. People are in mineral. They're going to watch it. They've got a fence up. If there's any wind that blows the trash, it'll be taken care of, and it's going to be very, very good. Everybody, I'm getting calls now. People are looking forward to the movement. I know they know there's some things in Normanna that probably can be done a whole lot better. Those efficiencies have been incorporated in the mineral collection station. So August 3rd, it should be open. Another thing, the wisdom of the court several months ago put Commissioner Lenny and I on the American Rescue Plan Committee. We had a meeting last week. Like they say in government, the check's in the mail. We haven't received it yet, but we have about $3 million coming. What we're going to do, because of the way the money is structured, one of the committee members will probably have to be removed from the committee. And we added a new committee member this last week. Mr. Jaime Castillo from HR is a new committee member. Mr. Willow probably will be removed from the committee because of a conflict of interest if we agree as a court to fund his salary out of that money, a later agenda item. And from what I understand, he can't be involved because it would be a conflict of interest, and we don't want to do anything with this money that's going to create any kind of conflict, because somebody's going to have to pay it back if it's not done properly. So we'll continue to meet. One thing that the committee came up with, and this is not an action item, but it's for the court's information, they asked us to look at everything and come up with recommendations. The way the committee is moving right now, the request for an administrator will be in the paper if everything works there this next week. Those information will come to the court, will come to the grant committee, the ARP committee. We will review them and select a administrator, which the court will then have the opportunity to approve or disapprove. Once we get the administrator, we can go full bore. Keep in mind, we only have 2 years to use this first tranche of money. And the way we looked at it, if we start going out for contracts for a broadband or whatever, having to get engineers involved and all this sort of thing is going to be very time consuming. And the committee feels very strongly that the first tranche of money should be designated for the essential personnel, with the exception of anyone on Commissioner's Court. We don't feel that commissioners or the judge, since we are dealing with the money, we don't feel we should receive any of that money. We feel very strongly about that. We could be overruled whenever this comes before the Commissioner's Court, but we feel it should go to the personnel that were here. And from what we're hearing, it's anyone after March 3rd. And essential personnel, in my opinion, is all county employees, because county government never shut down. We continue to operate the whole time. I think other elected officials are involved. The JPs did their inquest. They did their stuff with the prisoners. Everybody was working. But we feel very strongly that the Commissioner's Court should not receive any of these funds. Once we get to the point where we have our administrator and we bring everything back to the court for official confirmation, we'll have more information. So with that, sir, I will pass to my colleague to the right.
Well said. I don't have a whole lot. I want to thank Ray for taking care of some road issues and mowing issues. Just a reminder, the next couple of weeks, we're going to be doing a cleanup out on San Pedro Cemetery and also the Clareville Cemetery. I had a call from a lady, doesn't live here any longer, but has family that used to take care of that cemetery and has family members that are buried in it. She had asked about who maintains it, because it's getting pretty bad, since the people that did maintain it are deceased now. And so we're going to go ahead and do that. But, other than that, it's been actually fairly quiet for me the last couple of weeks.
Sure.
Just one more thing.
That's,
Everyone's asking about the mowing. Needless to say, we had a lot of rain and they held off, they couldn't get in the ditches. But also they were holding off on the mowing till all the flowers dried up and the seeds were viable. So that mowing is going on in North B County and the whole county right now. So thank you, sir.
yes, sir. Of course, thank you all for those comments. Last couple of weeks has been, exciting. For me, I guess the only thing I'd say is I did, move one step closer to getting the education that I'm required to by the, state of Texas. I took a 2-day trip out to Monahans, got to hang out with some West Texas, county judges. It was a lot of fun. You know, they're on the border. Their take is unique. It's a little bit different from South Texas, you know, fervor that we're seeing. I met with the county judge of Hudspeth, Jim Davis, and Jeff Davis, and Jim Davis, the creator of Garfield. And he does not have a county name for him in the state of Texas. And then Holly County, I think so, Ward County, Judge Holly, and Winkler County, and then there was another county, I don't recall, as well as Odessa. It was just kind of interesting to kind of hear their take in talking with respect to some of the issues that they're facing. Obviously, you know, the counties that are closer around New Mexico and Odessa area, they have a similar struggle that we're seeing in South Texas with respect to the drop-off in valuations of oil and gas producing properties, and how that's going to be impacting their budgetary process and their plans for the future for their counties. But all in all, it's a great event, learned a lot, and come back and ready to keep going. So let's move on. I had forgotten to comment or to call agenda item number 4, recognize visitors. Do we have any visitors that are in the audience today that, if you haven't, if you're welcome to stand up. If you want to go to public comment, I'll call public comment in just a moment. But if you don't plan on speaking in public comment, but you still want to stand up and say, I'm so-and-so and I'm here, this is the opportunity for you to do so. Yeah. We have a gentleman up front. I don't recognize him. Mr. Willow, good to see you as always. If there's nobody else, if there is anyone in the audience that's a visitor that's not going to have a speaking role today, welcome. For anybody that's on the interweb. Yes, ma'am.
I'm with the old program. My name is Sylvia, and my coworker is the Shayna.
Hi, how are y'all?
Wanting to present to you guys for funding us.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely give you an opportunity to speak here shortly. I thank you so much for introducing yourself, though. It's one of those things that it makes it so much more comfortable to be in a room when people start engaging, and we do it a little bit. I think my commissioners and I are we try to be as relaxed as possible with respect to the interchange and the interplay between the audience and Commissioners Court. We do that for a few reasons. One, we realize that sometimes the best ideas don't come from our heads. Most of the time they do, but just kidding. I've created a fight. But secondly, it also helps make kind of decrease tension and conflict within the room, and to allow us to openly express ideas and opinions in a manner so that everybody kind of understands where we're coming from. Because at the end of the day, open government, as difficult as it is, part of its greatest strength is that it forces us to say things that we may not otherwise want to say in a public forum, so that we can be vetted by each other. So thank you for standing up and introducing yourselves. That's a long-winded way of saying thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 6, public comment. Is there anybody in the audience today that would wish to address the court? Okay, moving on to agenda item number 7. The following items are of an administrative nature. Commissioners' Court has been furnished documentation on each item, and all such items may be acted upon by one vote without being discussed separately unless requested by a commissioner or county judge. Quite a long packet of information. Is there move to approve? I've got a motion. Do I have a second? and a second, and Commissioner Haggard, you have the floor, sir.
Well, I'm just, I'm looking at last meeting on the 12th. We approved the election administrator and her staff to go to San Antonio, and it was approved. Now it's back on this agenda again. Just wondering.
Oh, just their expense report?
Yeah, there's expense reports.
Well, it's back on the agenda because there's been a change in the lodging from when it was originally approved. The two employees were going to stay together, with the admin staying with another admin from another county, and so now she's resubmitted it with all of them having a room for themselves. So that's what you're seeing.
Is there any reason?
Any reason for this?
The reason the administrator I was gonna room with is not gonna be able to attend, and so I had to get my own room and stuff.
Okay, and the other two ladies are gonna get separate rooms now? Okay. Is Miss Martinez under quarantine or something? Because I haven't seen her in the office.
Andrea?
Yeah, is she
Yeah,
here?
she's there, she's.
Okay, I've been by several times, I hadn't seen her here at the courthouse, so I didn't know whether she was working out of it.
She's there.
Okay.
She's usually right after me every morning.
I think she's in former Commissioner Haggard's
She is
office.
Commissioner Haggard.
That may be why, because she's not in where they are, she's in the office next to.
No, yeah, I go by there, but I just hadn't seen her there. That's fine.
I
Any other
go
discussion?
by, and every time I've been by, they've all three been there. Or
She always wins the cold hand.
No, I just wanted some clarification on
On why that-
Why the change?
why the change in the increase in the amount of everything.
And there was a difference in the meals, but I had already vetted the meals, so that's why you see the X there as well.
Okay.
Did you want to look at the financials?
Please.
If you want to turn to page 5 of the financials, you'll see a little snapshot of our revenues for June end. I wouldn't say we're on course. We're a little short. We're short in our collections for our ad valorem, and our charges for services are a little down. And so that's something that we'll discuss in ARM, because that's something that's going to be able to help us out with those funds. But our charges for services, our fines and forfeitures, we've seen a decline for this time of the year for sure.
Ms. Madison having a hard time collecting, or they're not coming in?
The collections just aren't usually, by now, we're 98% or more, and we're just not there.
Where are we? Where, what page?
Percentage-wise.
Page 5,
Looking at it.
Well, her page.
for, on the financials,
Is it page 106?
of my financials, I'm not sure where they're at in the big
Sorry,
package,
there's so many
because there's,
pages.
there's,
Road and Bridge
there's
takes them all up with all the thank yous. Hey, Ray, come on. Good job and thank you and everything.
I'm not sure where it's at in your packet, Judge,
hold
I'm
on.
sorry.
You found it? What page is it?
Page 90, it starts at 90, at page 90.
Yeah. Wait, 90? I was after that.
You were, yeah, I
Okay,
was
I found
already
it.
after that.
Thank you, Commissioner Haggard. Please restate everything that you just
If you go to page 5, Judge, on my financial packet.
I see it. No, I see it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
so
see
you'll see the percentages, compared to last year, which last year we were seeing a little bit of a decline as well, because we were already, into the, lockdown at that time. But,
License and permits are not 85%.
well, that amount is really small, and so, of course, the percentage is greater, but
Okay.
I think
those permits are not annual, and so it just depends on what.
Some of it office. I was in there the last week or so. Some of it is you're not getting any, parks and wildlife.
Yeah, Parks and Wildlife has been down. for
Yeah,
like
it's been
a year,
down,
right?
so you're not getting any renewals for folks, fishing license like that, it's not there. So that's something.
Yes, and some of them aren't annual. And so last year, we might have gotten a few that have to renew this year, and so that's where you see some of the difference as well.
Madam Auditor, I do have one
Yes,
comment.
sure.
I want to compliment y'all. Y'all performed a forensic audit of a department. And I read it with some trepidation
Okay.
from what y'all found. And I would recommend that a follow-up audit be done within 30 days to be sure this stuff is deposited and put in like it should be.
We can do that.
This is
Yes, sir.
very, it needs to be done.
Yes, sir. We
When we
can
see
definitely
checks
do that.
dated March 25th, it hadn't been deposited, that's not good.
Now, look at the date that we were there. It's
I know.
taken us a few months to get the report in just because of some illness that I had in the office, but, we have the same concerns and we will definitely follow up.
Please,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
One more small question.
Yes, sir.
The licenses or permits, I should say, for the, mechanical machines in the city, do those fall under the license permits or are they miscellaneous for?
I believe they're license and permit.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm
So
hoping
those all go into the
I'm hoping
same.
we're current on those, so, okay.
Anything else? Everything else looks on track.
Okay. There's no other discussion. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Discuss and consider action on the following items. Agenda item number 8, submit for filing annual program overview report from the Citizens Promoting Medical Excellence, Doing Business as DBA, the Open Arms and Thankful Hearts Oath Program. Ms. Puentes, good morning once again. You're here. If you want to come forward to the podium, and I'm sorry. Yes.
Some information, I mean, for you guys to have in your office or?
Yeah, absolutely. If you come forward, and the process is you just stand at the podium, and then.
Can you see me?
Yeah, or you can stand beside the podium.
I'm like taller than I am.
And please identify yourself for the recording, and if you so desire, of
Thank you,
course, you
ma'am.
can remove your mask and speak.
Thank you.
There's no requirement that you wear it.
Good morning. My name is Sylvia Fuentes. I'm the director of the old program. I came into that last year. Ms. Tammy Machado was our previous director. So we've been here 22 years. We just turned 22 years this year. We are a medication access program for those that haven't heard of us or kind of forgotten over the years, right? We're kind of hidden behind 3G Electric on Adams. Because of you and other grants that we have, we've been able to stay open. During the COVID, we didn't close. We've had influx of people that come in, more of due to unemployment, needing help with rent and needing help with water, light, gas. Some of the needs also were medication because they're unemployed. They no longer have insurance, so now they're needing help with medication. We do access the patient assistance program. It's a lot of paperwork. And if you're not familiar with the programs are available through the drug company. These are free programs, and you apply. You have to send in proof of income, send in information on your insurance, depending on what program and what company you're applying to. Once that gets done, it does have to be signed by your doctor. All paperwork has to be signed by your doctor. It's mainly name brand medications that are dealt with, and if you are familiar, I don't know if any of y'all are on medications or not, but name brand medications are extremely expensive right now, especially diabetes medication. Insulins themselves, one vial, even at the cheapest, I would say here in B County, shows has basically the cheapest other than Walmart that is generic. You know, that they run in the 400, 500. The new A1C medications, are running in the thousands for just a one month supply. So people are running into that problem because of no insurance, right? You've been, funding us since the beginning, since 1999, and we are thrilled to come again before you, right, and ask for that help. Without you, we wouldn't be able to supply this service for free, okay? We are a nonprofit. We don't get funding other than we write for grants. United Way funds us. We did have 120 people this the beginning of the year, they came in for rent, water, utility help, rent and stuff. But that was funded by United Way, so we were able to help these people, because normally we don't help with that. It's basically strictly medication access. For if you look at the paperwork that I gave you, there's some, it's the patient total for the year. These just kind of give you an example of how many applications, and basically most of the medications are diabetes. So here in South Texas, diabetes is prevalent, and like I said, the medications are expensive. If you take a look at some of the totals for some of the people for insulins and for, and mainly most of them are diabetic. All the ones that are listed right there are diabetic medications. I think one of them, on number 14, he has something different. But otherwise, if you look at like Tadeo, it's insulin, and for number 13, the value that we accessed was $29,000 for the year. It's a year supply. So we do everything that has to do with getting that medication to the patient. We know the ins and outs of what the companies want, because most of the time the experience is if somebody goes and applies by themselves, most of the time they just, submit it like a regular application, and of course, they're nitpicky. You have to dot all your I's and cross all your T's, and if you're missing some type of information, well, it's delayed. Because normally it takes about a month in the process to get these medications to the patient. But once they're in, they're funded for a year, and they get the medications in either 3 months or 4 month increments. And it doesn't, they require, they don't have a requirement of how many medications you apply for. So if somebody has 5 name brand medications that they can apply for them, we will apply for all of them. And it's mainly income based. There are some companies that right now, because of COVID and all the troubles that are happening due to COVID, they're allowing certain people to get in, but it's a case-by-case basis, right? If you can make a case for them, and the story, depending on who's reviewing, will let you get in. Some Medicare people, some that are insured, there are coupons for all those that aren't aware, and we do all that. Somebody calls us and says, hey, I have this medication, and we try all the avenues that we can possibly access so that they can have that information to go out. If they're needing any type of medical assistance, any type of information, for the county or for other counties, we do service the surrounding counties, not just here. So we'll service anyone as long as we can get your doctor to sign for paperwork. Because there are some doctors that won't sign. That was my experience when I came to Oath. I came to Oath in '99 due to a heart attack. And, at that time, we were very low income, and I had no way of accessing cardiologists, anybody to access medication. I ended up going to a cardiologist that I got the money together to go visit one. And then when I came to Oath and was referred to Oath, he refused to sign for my medication. So I was devastated, because it's like, how am I going to pay for these medicines? And I don't know where to go. I don't know who can help me. I don't qualify for Medicaid, because my children do, but I don't as an adult, because I was in that age, 30 to 65. You don't have disability problems, then you can't get in, right, to get that help. So, anyway, Oath referred me to a local doctor that was working with Oath, and I ended up getting my medications, which, I thank God that I did, right? But, anything else that we do, we try to help anyone that comes through our doors, with any information, any type of information, any type of doctor referral. We don't do the referrals themselves, we just give them the information so that they can go out, and we try, and there's a lot of stories, especially right now. People are coming in, I can't do this, my husband was unemployed, my wife, I just got unemployed, and I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go, I don't know who to ask for, they told me about you, so I need you to help me. And a lot of the information, we try to educate ourselves to try to get all that information, and have it all, so that way if somebody comes in and give us, we can give out that information, for the free clinic. That's the only thing that B County doesn't have, is the free clinic. Outside of that, we do have coastal bins, that does the sliding scale clinic, but it doesn't have a free clinic. Sliding scales are for those that have low income, no insurance, but, can afford that, but then there's those that don't have any income, other than indigent, but they are indigent, but they don't qualify because they make just a little bit above the amount that is required for them to be in the indigent program, and they don't make enough to, if you're gonna eat and pay your bills, rather than take your medication, most of us will take food and a roof over our heads and water, and medicines get put aside, and then they end up in the ER, and they spend more money going to the ER rather than preventative health, so I think a clinic, a small clinic, I would think, but, I don't know how B County feels about all that, right, but, that's the only drawback, I think, that B County has. It doesn't have a free clinic, but I don't know how that would work for anyone, other than for those that are homeless. We have some homeless come in. We don't have very many, but thank goodness, but we do have them.
Just wondering, do y'all provide direct aid, or do you provide, information and guidance?
Wait, excuse me?
Direct aid, do y'all pay, or
Well,
directly, or do you help guide people to funding sources?
we try to, we try to do both. We have some funding that is, given to us through a trust fund from Frost Bank in Corpus that was established from the beginning. And, if someone comes in, but it has stipulations, which is for cancer related or heart related. So if you're a diabetic and you don't have a heart attack and you don't have cancer, yeah, I can't help you, because that's the stipulation. We can fund them on, if it's cancer, like, if they need to visit their doctor, we can give them gas, or we can, fund them for some medications, because of course, like I said, medications are expensive, especially for like specific things like cancer, and for heart-related medications. they are, and, we try to fund some of it with that money, but it only goes so far.
With
You know.
respect to these 28, individuals that
Yes.
y'all assisted, last year, some of the numbers, that you highlighted are really high of their expenses. Is there like
It is,
what's the primary source of payment for these fees? Like, what's,
well,
like,
these fees are, this is just a roundabout number of, how much it would cost if that person would go out and purchase it on their own. These don't get paid by us or anything like that.
right, yeah,
So-
where do they get paid by? Like, what's your,
Well,
the biggest bucket of money that you guys can drive clients to for offsetting these medical expenses?
just the free programs that are available through the drug companies. We don't have anything that I can say, go here to go do that, or everything has a fee. So we don't hand them that fee or anything like that. I don't,
So y'all will help the patient, and the doctor with, identifying if I needed drug A and drug A doesn't have a program, but drug B, which is just like drug A, does have some type of cost forgiveness program you can drive.
correct. The free programs are available through the drug companies themselves. Here in the United States, they have to have a free program available to practice or to manufacture. They have to have.
They have to have a.
They have to have, yes, the government, told them they have to have a certain type of programs available. At the
Okay.
beginning, nobody knew about them, but as it trickled out, everybody started finding out. I don't know, they haven't had a commercial on it, but, it was called PAP program. That's
Okay.
what they're called, the Patient Assistance Program. And I think, what was his name? Famous actor, it wasn't Denzel Washington, I can't remember his name, but he came out, introducing those programs several years ago, but it's kind of gone on the wayside, due to, we have available the insurance now, the health market.
Mhm.
But even like that, it's still the funding, because some of the doctors will want to, give your patient the best medication, the new ones that are coming out and trying, but because of the cost, the patient can't afford it,
So then you'll assist the patient with
Looking.
applying directly, do you assist them with the application
Yes,
process?
we do everything with the process. Well, if, say you call me and you tell me, hey, I have Trulicity, okay, that's the diabetes, A1C medication, I can't afford it, my doctor, has referred me, wants me to try it out, or what is the case, and then they'll go ahead and call us. I'll tell you, okay, yeah, there's a program for it, I'll run you through the program and let you know, okay, this is not a right away, I can't purchase it for you right now. If your doctor has samples for the moment, he'll supply them for you, and then we'll go through the process. So then it'll, I'll educate you on, it'll take a month, and then once you're on the program, you'll go ahead and get your supply at, home now, they're sending them.
They're sending them directly to them. Tell me, what is the OATH program's main telephone number?
It's, 361-343-6621.
361-343-6621.
6621.
So if you're out there and you're listening, you're having trouble acquiring medications, contact the OATH program directly.
Yes,
See if
sir.
they might be able to help you out. I know you had a question, I think.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Everybody had a question too.
She answered it for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you covered it, I had a
Yeah.
question, but you got to it, and you rolled right through it.
I'm
Thank you.
sorry.
Ms. Fuentes, a couple of quick questions. Since we're obligating taxpayer money, I know I'm gonna be asked, how many salaried staff do y'all
We're
have?
only two.
Okay.
We're only two, yes.
And then who is oversight over y'all?
We have a board, Ms. Carol Kruger, she was one of the founders at the beginning with Ms. Jeannie Hotchkiss. She's still, she's our president right now. Ms. Cindy Hillard is our, financial advisor, or CEO, is it?
CFO?
CFO, there you go. Yes. She's our accountant, actually, you know, and, we have, we're trying to get one of the PAs that's actually my PA into it, but because of the COVID thing, we haven't been really doing all that interaction yet. We're trying to get more and get people, how to say, involved in it, but because we can't go out or they can't come in, we're a little bit more difficult.
One final question. What other entities give y'all cash or give you money like P County does?
The United Way,
Okay.
from Coastal Bend funds us on a yearly basis. We've been with them also from the beginning almost. Then, the Barnhart Foundation, they help us out. We try to streamline everything possible so that we won't be spending money, outside of what we need other than supplies, you know, and, our telephone, telephone's so expensive, so I went to a cell phone and I tried to get the best possible plan for us, because we had a phone line, fax line. I don't know why it cost $200 for a fax line. I couldn't understand that, so I kind of went into the internet part of it and having to deal with faxes, because we have to fax applications and receive that, faxes also. So we I've tried to minimize all the money.
So this phone number that you gave, that's
Yes,
a cell phone now?
Yes, so they can leave us a message there, or they can, we have a Facebook page, a post program. We do have Twitter, but I'm not too savvy on the Twitter thing, you know. We don't have a website, only because we can't maintain it, and I like I said, I'm not that savvy with stuff like that, so unless somebody wants to give it to me, then okay, but we did have a website, and it is out there, but the information is irrelevant already. It has information that, so I try to do all the things on Facebook that I can actually, I know a little bit of Facebook.
We appreciate all you do, man.
Thank you.
Does Jim Wells or Live Oak County, do they also?
Live Oak County does. Jim Wells stopped funding us. We used to have, is it a Representative Gonzalez Church? What's his last name? Oh, he has a French name. Mark, what's his first name? They were with us, for a little bit, and we got funding to him for a couple of years, but then it didn't work out.
Do y'all still maintain an office in Jim Wells?
No longer. At the moment, no, we stopped
Okay.
because of COVID, and we were actually in a church, so they closed down the church and we couldn't access that, so we kind of stayed, but we're still accessing. We tell everybody we can do everything over the phone. You want to mail us, you can mail us, you can email us, you can, text me, for the cell phone, it's a lot easier text for people or whatever, or give us a call, leave a message. We try to get to them within 24 hours, to get all the information to them, whatever is the need.
And does the PAP program, does that exist to all, medications, all pharmaceutical companies?
Yes, it depends on, well, the companies are the ones that put the criteria. So at any time, in their discretion, if they decide we don't want to put that medication on the program any longer, they'll drop it.
Okay.
And most of the new medications are available, but it's sometimes for just a period of time and sometimes for years. We have one company, and I don't know if you're familiar with Synthroid, it's a thyroid medication. Levothyroxine is the generic, and it's been available for years on end. But they still have that one on the program. So it depends on the company and what they decide. And then they're always merging and not merging, and their programs change, and we're having to always constantly update. And thank goodness we have that database that we can access also. We have a database that these applications are updated, so we don't have to be, like, oh my gosh, it changed this year, or because they included COVID information in there, they changed the application. So we're having to, review all that, and and, get it going again and seeing how it works. But basically, they have all the information. It's the same year after year, so we kind of know like I said, the ins and outs of how to get somebody, qualified. And most of our successes, I want to say 98%,
Okay.
you know.
So when we're looking at the 28 number of total, folks that y'all were able to successfully help last year, that's the
Yes.
vast majority of the people
Yes.
who actually called.
Yes, most of, like I said, we've learned over the years what needs to be done to get these people qualified. Yes, sir.
If you would, this is to the auditor. I noticed that our care affiliation agreement begins October 1 for $20,000. Do we have that budgeted, or will we have that budgeted, ma'am?
I believe, because that's the same amount that's
Yes.
been,
It's been,
if that's the same amount,
Okay,
yes, 'cause I didn't bring my budget book, I
yeah.
apologize.
Okay.
But if that's the same amount,
It is.
that is in the budget.
if you have any questions, any other questions?
No,
You want me
you've been
to-
quite informative, thank you. I don't.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For your time.
And
this
thank
morning.
you for being there for your constituents. Thank you.
Okay. Moving on, agenda item number 9, approval of indigent care affiliation agreement between B County and the Oath Program. This is, Ms. Puentes, I don't think I need you to come back up unless
Oh, I'm sorry.
there's something I really appreciate the time you took to, discuss with us, not only, how beneficial the solutions you provide are, but the mechanisms in how you provide, these, financial, solutions to, individuals, not only in B County, but in the region. Is there a motion to approve the indigent?
Second.
Okay. Well, I didn't even get the question out. All right, fine, I'll take it. It takes a little bit. It is on the budget.
It is there.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? So the motion and the second is to approve the indigent care affiliation agreement between B County and the Oath Program. Yes, sir. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Thank you. Agenda item number 10, approval of cooperative agreement between Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service and B County.
Move to approve?
Got a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Landon, is there anything you'd like to say about this?
If you don't have any questions, just let me know, but it's the agreement that the county's always had with us. It's good for 5 years, I think that Mr. Montemayor recommended, so we would have to do this every year, but if you have any questions, just reach out, but thank you.
Well, we thank you and Texas A&M Agricultural Service for everything they do for our community. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 11, approval of ECM invoice number 000044-PM Services for procurement of a forensic engineer for the Sheriff's Office, New Jones.
Move to approve.
I have a motion, do I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 12, approval to fund the COVID mitigation position out of the American Rescue Plan funds. Commissioner DeWitt, this is your item, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, this is what we talked about during my opening, Judge. The committee feels like that we should fund that mitigation position out of the American Rescue Plan funds. The only caveat is that once we decide to do that, Mr. Willow can no longer be on the committee because there's a conflict of interest or be directly involved. But I would make a motion that we do approve that.
I have a motion, do I have a second? I
Um,
have a motion and a second, any further discussion?
Do we want to, have a timeline, date end? No?
Because we don't know yet.
Perfect.
Check in the mail.
Check the mail, we don't know.
Yeah, well, so,
We don't have the money yet, so we can't fund it, but we're approving to fund it if we get the money.
Okay.
And
so
because
we'll
we're
go ahead
prison
and add
funded,
that
he can no longer be on the committee.
Great,
Yeah.
and I'll go ahead and work that into it.
It's kind of one of these kind of deals.
Yeah, no, and we'll have to approve the budget ultimately,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
you know, we can round the wagon back then.
We were trying to do this to get ahead of it.
We're out
Head
here.
of steam.
Oh,
We're gonna-
I'm not afraid to volunteer y'all for a committee if y'all are here.
Even if we're sitting here?
I just thought we did it for the absent commissioner, I thought that was convention, I thought this is how you guys did it. No, Jaime Castillo has graciously joined the committee, and thank you, Mr. Willow, for everything you did at the beginning. Mr. Castillo, we expect great things from you too. I know we have a set amount that the federal government plans to give us, we'd like to double that, no pressure. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 13, approve and accept Beeville Street and Blueberry Hill subdivision into the road and bridge system. Mr. Gonzalez.
Good morning, Beeville County Road Administrator. To accept something like this, takes a few things which were done. One was by Mr. Knight. He had to look at the, I think, the meets and bounds. And he okayed it, he approved it. The other was myself going out there to make sure that this road was built to specs. I was there when they laid the base, the Felicia base was done right. Then I was there when they paved it, and it was done right. And I was there Thursday, and everything's still there intact, and it meets all the specs. So it's up to the court if we don't want to go ahead and accept it in the system. You know, that.
So this is different than bringing one into the system?
It's
Like-
basically the same, but the owner pays for everything.
Okay.
And then turns it, it's gotta meet the width of your right of way, your.
Oh, so
sub-base.
it's a different process.
Yeah.
It's at no cost to B County, but we
No.
will maintain it.
Yes,
Here.
we take it over.
Right.
This is the third road we've done like this. Now, the other way, we've done plenty.
Right.
This is the third road we've done like this since I've been in 30
The hard way.
The
hard way.
Good way. Entertain a motion.
I make a motion to accept this road.
Have a motion, do I have a second? A motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Mr. Gonzalez, thank you, sir. Moving on, agenda item number 14, award RFP number 20/21-009 for Road and Bridge AC-5 asphalt. Begin August 2nd, 2021. This is why you're standing up here,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez.
Wondering why I didn't go back.
You learned from the last one.
Yes, I highly recommend that we stay, that we continue, getting Valero as a provider for paving the asphalt. One, he was $400 lower, and we've been dealing with Valero for over 38 years. And of course, all the trucking is set in place. So I highly recommend we stay with Valero.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Mrs. Cantu, you have any input on this at all?
No, we went through the RFP processes. One of the things that our outside auditors found was not compliant, and so we have satisfied that
Okay, excellent.
requirement.
So this is good for how long?
5 years
5 years?
is our
Yeah.
bid. Span.
Does this, one other question, does this cover the trucking? Do we still get an RFP for the trucking, or that,
Yes.
it's all inclusive in the package? Okay.
There's no further discussion. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Thank you, gentlemen. And Mr. Gonzalez, thank you again. Mrs. Cantu. Agenda item number 15, approval of Texas Association of Counties TAC, County Information Resources Agency, CIRA, 2022 Website Services Agreement. Mr. Oliver can be here this morning. This is largely a housekeeping matter. Mrs. Cantu, do you have any input for us on this?
No, this is, if this is the increase, it's very minimal, and it's within, Craig's budget already.
Move to approve of the company.
I have a motion and a second. Commissioner DeWitt.
What I saw, it's $35.50 a year, and then there's another $15.50 for a standard website package. I think that's the way this is counted, which is housekeeping.
Did Craig respond to that email? Because I know that you sent one out.
So our motion and our second is just to approve an expenditure of $1,550.
Okay, let me, revise my motion in, because I had read something about
Yeah,
$35.50.
Well, I see that, yeah.
That is incorrect, that the cost is for the standard website package of $15.50. I saw that with an X by it, so that's the one we're.
I'll amend my second.
Okay, we have an amended motion and amended second. Any further discussion? Thank you, Mrs. Estrada. Thank you, Mrs. Cantu. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 16, update, discussion, and possible action regarding B County COVID-19 status, preparedness, and contingency planning. I'm going to turn the floor over to Mr. Willow, but I will take a little bit of his thunder by saying that things are starting to heat up. Mr. Willow is going to give us some numbers, hopefully, and kind of give us an indication of where things are trending right now. And it seems like if you turn on the TV or pick up the news in any media, that this is something that we're going to end up having to be discussing a little bit more frequently. So start paying attention and thinking about yourself and others. Mr. Willow, you have the floor.
You did great, Bob. I'm done. Mike Willow, COVID-19 mitigation. We'll start off with saying that B County, at the present time, we have 2 people in the hospital with COVID. 1 female, 76 years of age, 1 male, 44 years of age. Active cases in B County are 67. Now, this does include TDCJ staff and inmates. However, we don't know exactly if all staff members live in B County, so there's a fluctuation of some. We have so far 75 deaths from the COVID in B County. As you've seen, the Delta variant is raising its head and is now 98% of the cases that are seen throughout the nation in the hospitals. We continuously strive to try to convince people to get the vaccine. We have a lot of hardliners that don't want to do it, and I think you're all playing Russian roulette if you don't get the vaccine shot. We have H-E-B, Walmart, we have Walgreens giving vaccines. A lot of people are calling in for testing. We don't have on-site testing anymore here like we used to. So we recommend that you go to your physician's office, call them first so they can do the proper procedures. But our call center, now that we got rid of the receptionist that she found another job within the county, the phone calls are jumping up. And half and half, where do I get tested? Where do I get the shot? So by all means, they can still call the call center. And please don't ask me that number, because
We have that new app, right?
Yes.
Does it contain
It does.
important information that our community could get with respect to COVID-19?
Yes, it does. Great segue.
And the app is available on the B County landing page, right? The homepage, the main
Yes.
page. If you Google B County.
Yes, or you can go to our Facebook page, it's on there. It's a free app for either the Android or the Apple phone. So, and at the present time, we have over 1,287 people that are on the app. So it's taken off. So that's pretty cool, and it's free. So, but just, I like to, even though we cannot mandate masks, because we are following the governor's rules, I would like the county to suggest, that we encourage, if dealing with the public, that county staff wear a mask. We're already being affected in the county offices with COVID. So we do have some people catching it.
getting the vaccine does not mean you will never get the COVID. You will get, you can still contract the disease, but it's such a mild case, hospitalization is not required. So they're saying over 75% nationwide of the people in the hospital for COVID are the ones that have not been vaccinated. And I think that is probably a higher number, but 75% sticks to mind. So I would, maybe with that thought, it's here, it's coming, hold on.
Any questions? No? Any other comments or statements? Thank you once again, Mr. Willow, and everybody, please be careful out there. We do not have an executive session, so we will move forward to agenda item number 17, which is adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion and a second right out of the box to adjourn. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, we are adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you, everybody, for being here today.
Yeah.